because the reality after you leave fashion school is there are not a lot of opportunities out there. And if you want to start your own brand, you need a lot of like capital. And even if you get the money, before you grow the brand to the point that you actually start to make money, it's challenging. Right now, I am choosing to find fulfillment and happiness in the fact that I'm using my talents to empower people. It's actually been a moment since I filmed from my bedroom. Okay, let's do this. Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys last week to send through your questions for a Q&A that'll possibly be the last one for 2022. And I actually got a few questions. I was very surprised. I got over 30 questions, so I'll answer as many as I can. If you do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Let's have a conversation about the topics that we cover in this video, and let's just get into it. Please excuse the sunlight dipping in and out. I am filming by the window, and you know how the sun is. It comes and it goes, but we're grateful for it. However, the first question here is from Dude Next Door, and the question says, I want to start my label and I'm really nervous because it's a huge step. What should I keep in mind when battling the first couple of years or even in general? Like tips and things to look out for, because businesses don't cut a profit for at least 2 years and there are so many labels already existing. This is so true. For the first couple of years, you might not make a profit. It's a normal thing because you're starting something new. There's a lot of mistakes you make, but you kind of like learn from them and avoid those mistakes in the future. I have done a few videos in the past where I shared like tips and things I wish I knew before starting my business. I'm going to link it on the screen so you can check that out, because I really went through realistic things that I have experienced and I think you should be aware of before starting your business. I will say just have like a stash of money that gives your business what you call a runway, which is essentially enough money to cover all expenses in case you don't start seeing a profit straight away. Some people would actually like save up before they start their business or have a part-time job while they run their business, so they have something to actually generate money in case the business is not making a profit straight away. I say just be open to learning, be open to partnering with other people as well, people who, you know, excel in areas that you don't necessarily excel in as well. They can bring their own experience, bring their own expertise, and just create like a amazing product or service that the customer is going to enjoy. I also saying understanding your customer is really important, so that way you're able to tailor your product or your service better to that. So you're able to tailor your product and your services better to your customer. The next question is from Donna Buckmar 4995, and it says, hi Kim, firstly congratulations on your lovely success as an established sewist. Thank you. Your skills have gone from one stage to another level. Keep it up. My question is, do all the garments that you wear for your videos, are they made by you? Donna 3 hearts. No, not everything I wear I make. Like this top I didn't make. This top is from Reese. I believe this top is from Reese. But a huge percentage of my video and a huge percentage of my wardrobe includes pieces I've made. And when I go for events, I actually like to wear things I've made because it's a great conversation starter. And a lot of people don't know, but when I'm in public, I get a little bit of anxiety talking to new people for the first time. I'm a little bit shy and awkward. So if I'm wearing something, you know, cool and interesting, it kind of eases and makes the conversation to start off like on a more natural like path. So yeah, not everything I make, not everything I wear have I made. And Macaulay 3639, are you Catholic? How do you produce pieces and find people or companies to produce them? Yes, I'm Catholic. I was born Catholic. I still go to Catholic church. I enjoy like the masses, the hymns. I'm getting to a place with my faith where it's become a very like personal thing for me. Like I wake up every day, say my prayers, and I don't know, like my life and my faith is so intertwined at this point that I'm just grateful for the existence of God, and the fact that I'm alive today is a testament of the mercy of God. So yes, I'm Catholic. Do I produce pieces? At the moment, no. So if you mean manufacturing, I don't at the moment because I had to let go of my intern. She was on a 3 month contract and it ended. So it's just good on me working for Kim Dave right now. But in terms of finding people to produce my pieces, I have worked with Jaola Workshop in the past and they're really, really good. They have a manufacturing studio in Lagos and I think they're opening one in London as well. The whole process was just so seamless and Janine was like I gave that lady a headache, but she was very accommodating. So Jala Vault is actually a very good one. There are a few different ones in London as well. If you're looking for small MOQs, which is like minimum order quantities to produce your collection or your pieces for you. But at the moment, no, I do not produce. Next is from Yvonne Winfrey UG. Thanks for the opportunity, dear. Mine is, how do you keep filming for YouTube despite the challenges, especially in views, disappointment, etc.? Thank you so much. Listen, I think I had just had to come to a place mentally where I was like, I choose to find fulfillment in things outside of views, followers, subscribers, likes, the metrics. I decided to tell myself and remind myself that my value is more than the analytics and the metrics of the Kim Dave brand. Because it really got to a point where, like, if a video was not performing well, it would affect my mood. I would be so sad, I would be disappointed, I would feel very upset. But in the summer this year, I had a burnout, and the burnout was triggered by like a very personal loss that I went through. When I came out of that burnout, I was like, you know what? This life is too short. I can't. Like, I can't just deal. Like, if the views come, all well and good. If the followers come, all well and good. But right now, I am choosing to find fulfillment and happiness in the fact that I'm using my talents to empower people, whether it's somebody making something for themselves, learning something that they will apply in their business, or just seeing somebody that looks like me doing what I'm doing. That is also something inspiring for someone that might be watching this video. So I wake up every morning, I'm like, good morning, Jesus. I choose to to be happy and find fulfillment in, my life. I'm in a happy and blessed marriage. My business is doing well. I do want to grow, I do want to expand, but in this journey and in this like path of like evolving and growing, I choose not to focus on all the tiny details like what videos are performing well and things like that. Rather focus on finding ways to make better videos, create interesting like YouTube series, challenge myself creatively. Like, I focus on all those things now more rather than the views, because there's only so much I have control over. I'm not good. Next question here is from Fazan Sani 5504. I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Hello, I recently moved to the UK and would please like to know where you buy fabric and sewing accessories. Thanks. I get my fabric and accessories from a combination of places, online and in store. In terms of in store, I love Fabricland. They have a few branches across the UK. I love Woolcrest. I am obsessed with Woolcrest at this point because it's like a big warehouse and they have a lot of fabrics, different types, different price points in there. I also discovered MP Silks recently. I haven't been in, but it's similar to Woolcrest in terms of like there's a lot of stock, and I heard MP Silks is like wholesale, so they sell a minimum of 10 meters and the prices are wholesale prices. I also would go to Shepherd's Bush Market. Their prices are a little bit high, but if you're willing to negotiate with the vendors, you could get a really good deal. I also like to go to Walthamstow Market. Where else do I even go to buy fabrics? And then online, I love Amazon, I love eBay, places like that. I would go and shop for fabrics there. In terms of like zips and accessories, this sun is just like, this sun said no, it has come to shine.
A few moments later.
In terms of accessories, there is a shop in Bethnal Green called London Trimmings. I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know if they're still open, but they only sell zips, bias tapes, just accessories and trimmings that you would need to complete and, finish up your garment. All right, next question is from Ritanas 9455, and the question says, how many collections do a designer need to release in a year? And must all collections be based on your niche only? There's a follow-up question to that. It says, which app is a must-have for designers? And the third question is, how do you keep updated in fashion? Thank you. It's like a three-part question. The first part is, how many collections the designer need to so based on industry standard, you kind of need to make two: spring, summer, and then autumn, winter. It's not a must, but if you are a business that wants to, consistently produce products and compete with everybody on a level playing field, two collections. And then some other designers will now add resort, which is like in between your summer and your autumn, winter. So when people go on holidays, so resorts is kind of like what you wear on holiday, what you wear on vacation, that kind of vibe. That's what resort collections are usually like. So I would say 2 to 3 collections a year if you can afford it. That's what most established designers would do. I usually only do once a year because that's what I can afford at this point in my career. Sometimes I do one every 2 years because it's a lot of money to invest in making a collection, promoting a collection, selling the collection. That is a lot of money. If the collection should be only based on your niche, yes, because it makes it easy for your customers to kind of understand your story. You can play with, different parts, like different like types of garments, but it all has to make a cohesive sense. Like if you're someone who only, I don't know, works with polka dots, it would be strange to now make a collection where you've used stripes, except if you've tied it back to the polka dots fabrics in a way that it makes sense story wise. That's kind of like how I understand it in terms of like niche. But you could also create, I don't know, like a limited collection that is outside of your niche. So it's something new and fresh for your customer to experience. But to say every single time make something entirely different, it might be a bit confusing for your customer to consume and understand. Which app is a must for designers? For me, I love Canva. I am amazed at how much I have done with Canva, and I'm even on the free plan. My ebooks I make on Canva. My graphics for like workshops, seminars, social media I make on Canva as well because they have a mobile app, so I can easily just do it on my phone. I also like to use the mobile version of Premiere Pro, which is called Rush. That's what I would use to edit like my YouTube shorts, sometimes my reels, my reels, and like TikToks as well. So Canva, Premiere Rush, and then I like Umnum. Umnum I used to like plan my feed, especially for my ready to wear brand because I love that page to be a lot more tidy and organized because it's meant to be like the brand page for like the collection. So Umnum to like plan my feed, make sure everything like looks, nice and clean, tells a story, and it just makes sense when someone lands on that page. How do you keep updated in fashion? I watch, not like I watch to copy, but I watch what other designers are doing on their pages. I watch to see what designs you're inspired by. I also actually like to check out different fashion weeks around the world. So London Fashion Week, Paris, Milan, Shanghai, Seoul, even Lagos as well, South Africa. Like I just like to see what other designers are doing, what's inspiring them, what colors, what fabrics. And I have found from just sort of like looking at what my peers and what like, even more established brands are doing, it kind of feeds into like future designs that I would do in terms of like maybe the length of gowns, the length of sleeves, details that I could possibly, experiment with. I would say, yeah, watching what other creatives are doing. And it could be outside of fashion as well. It could be someone who paints, for someone who does makeup, architecture, different things really inspire me and they like kind of keep me updated like creatively. The next question here is from Jemima Ogbaru. Hi Jemima. From Jemima Ogbaru 9109. And the question says, how do you source inspiration for new collections? Also, how did you find your signature detail, i.e. the sleeve pattern in your outfits? So instead of sourcing, I kind of just answered that one in the previous question. But for how did I find my signature design? I found it when I was in fashion school. I remember there was a collection we did. I don't remember the name of the project, but this was like back in 2016, 2017. And it was like, I think it was my first or second year of like my BA in fashion design. And in that project, I just became obsessed with drawstrings, and I draw strings on pockets, draw strings on collars. And I think from experimenting with drawstrings, I ended up creating a silhouette where I could change the length, the volume, and the size of the sleeve based on where I placed the drawstring. That's how I found my signature piece. And since then, I've actually like developed that like detail even a little bit more. I've put it on jackets, on dresses, on skirts. I'll most likely put it on trousers in the future, you know, just to like see where the potential could go. And it's become like the Kim Dave thing. Like everyone who knows me knows that I love dramatic sleeves, I love to play with volume, and I love, you know, colorful and interesting fabrics. That's kind of like the Kim Dave thing at this point. We don't know what is to become in the future, but that was how I found like my signature design for the sleeve. The next question is from Samrat Roy. Ooh, this is a long name. I'm just going to put the name on the screen because I don't think I'm going to say this correctly. And the question says how to get internships. I found my internships online. There are different websites you can actually check. You can check LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing place to find job opportunities. And you can check for your even country as well. So if you're not even in London and you're watching this, I want to find, you know, employments and internships in your country, you can search on LinkedIn too. There's also one called Fashion Jobs. Fashion Jobs, they usually, companies go there and post like jobs and openings that they might have. Not just internships, but like entry level designer jobs that you could possibly do if you're someone who is in fashion, graduated from fashion, or wants to progress like in the fashion career path. Next question is from Onyisos 5087. What advice do you have for a fresh fashion graduate shocked by after school reality? I'm in Nigeria. I say keep learning and keep challenging yourself. It now depends on what path you want to go. Do you want to start your own brand, or do you want to, you know, work underneath someone and still learn and improve before you decide? You kind of have to like make up your mind on what direction and what trajectory you want to go. But whichever way, I say doing apprenticeships, internships, jobs that like, you know, in the industry will give you real life experience and would help you make up your mind on if you want to start your own brand, which aspect of fashion you want to focus on. Because you might just say, okay, I just want to become a pattern cutter, but you wouldn't know that until you actually work that job in someone else's company. So I say do an internship, work with someone else, just have a feel of the industry, because the reality after you leave fashion school is there are not a lot of opportunities out there. And if you start your own brand, you need a lot of like capital. And even if you get the money, before you grow the brand to the point that you actually start to make money, it's challenging. So do an internship or two and just like source out the industry, fill it out and see what you actually like. User CH5QC3RV7B asks, how are you able to plan and create content? What's your process? I feel like I should most likely do this as a separate video, but I'll just give like a brief answer here. But I tend to plan my videos like a month in advance, and I'm obsessed with Notion right now. Notion on mobile, Notion on. I didn't know why the girlies were obsessed with Notion until I got Notion, and I'm like, oh God, I love Notion. It's like Excel and Google Calendar had a baby. That's the best way to describe Notion. Basically, you can create pages, you can create calendars, you can even like break down like a really big project into actionable tasks on Notion, and then each day you can just go there and see, have I done this, what do I need to do next, and you can do like a to-do list as well. So that's currently the app that I'm playing around with at the moment, and I've already planned my content for December and even like early January at this point, because it helps me plan ahead a lot better. I also don't feel as overwhelmed. That's why a lot of times by the time I'm doing a style, people have already done it like 3 months ago. That's because at the time when I saw the style and put it into my calendar was when it was like raining or in vogue. But if I'm really, you know, interested or really curious about the design, I will still create it anyways. So my process is usually I would you know, do a bit of research on Pinterest, on Instagram, see what the girls are liking, what the girls are wearing. Also, if I have a fabric in store that I want to work with, I bring that out. And then I would write down a list of, you know, ideas, projects that I want to do. I can only do 9 videos a month. That's 2 videos a week on my YouTube channel. And I would actually plan that into my calendar and try and film it ahead of time, edit it ahead of time. That is what my process is like at the moment. There are moments when I would come back, maybe if I'm meant to film a particular video for next week and I see something else that excites me, I'll postpone that future video and do the one that I'm really excited about. So I try not to be too rigid with myself. Sometimes I try to just go with the flow. And I don't know, I've been enjoying creating content recently. I try not to fixate on the views anymore because it will just give you headache. Roots, Agele, hey, I'm so bad with names, God. Root Agele 844 asked, I sew perfect easily in mind, but when I have the fabric to work on, I get low and doesn't come out well. What do I do? So I guess the question is like when you create a design in your head, it comes out perfectly, but when you actually make it, it's not as perfect. I said it's kind of normal if you're doing something for the first time. If you haven't done a design before, if it's a style they haven't, if it's a fabric, if it's a style that you haven't worked on before, I say like it's actually kind of normal if you don't get it perfect the first time. These is I try not to give myself headache if I try something the first time and it's not 100% perfect. It's like, you know what? It's my first attempt. The second time I'm doing this, I know what to avoid and how to do it better. That's why I always advise people to do samples and twirls. If you're making like an expensive garment, an expensive fabric or something for a customer and it's a design you haven't tried before, just do like a rough prototype, a rough first draft, a rough first version. So if you want to like, if there's something that you're not sure of, you can do that without being too anxious and too worried. And then when you do it and it doesn't come out perfectly, you can take note of what you can fix, what was challenging for you, what you need to tweak, and what you can adjust to make it better for the future. The next question is from Promise Bakari. Oh, hi Promise. And the question says, how have you found this year? 2022 has been an emotional roller coaster. The year started off on such a high, like finding out I was in the BVF classes 2022, going to Nigeria, like seeing my family again. And then the summer my summer was actually very challenging. Like July was one of those months that I don't even know how I survived that month. So it was high and then it was low and then it was high again and then there was like a dip around autumn. But now I'm like in a more like zen, like calm, centralized and more like focused place. But it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster and it's been a huge learning curve. I would not change anything. I have no regrets. If anything, I would say I want to go into the new year just allowing myself to just be me, be weird, be quirky, be odd. Like I don't want to fit into the stereotype of, oh, I have to, do my hair a certain way, do this. It's like, I don't tire. I'm just going to be me and exist in my true authentic self. Mata Odo 3762, and the question is, what is your advice to a young aspiring fashion designer that is still scared and doesn't believe in his or herself yet? This has to do a lot with confidence in yourself and in your craft. And confidence is something that you kind of build on over time. Some days it's strong, some days it's not, but it's a work in process. You don't reach a point and said, I am 100% confident. Some days it's 70, some days it's 50, some days it's 90. It kind of goes up and down, but I think it comes from a place of self-awareness. Like if you know yourself, if you know what you can do, where you need to improve, there's nothing anybody will tell you that you don't already know. When you know yourself, when you know what you are good at and what you need to improve, you're able to improve on the areas of your like creative process that need a little bit of work, and you're able to get jobs now with your strengths, because that's something that is unique to you and you're really good at, and then find opportunities that you can leverage on, and then identify and research what your peers that are excelling, what are they doing that's working for them, what can I learn from that and apply to myself at this point. But just know that being afraid is normal, being scared is normal. I think I've come to a point where I'm just like, fear is an emotion that you cannot eradicate, rather than let it cripple you, let it inspire and motivate you. You are afraid because it's something new. You are afraid because it's new territory and something that you haven't tried before. It's normal to feel afraid. But rather than now cross your hand and say, ah, God, I don't know what to do. This is scary. This is, what can I learn to help me, get into this field? What can I do today and now? Where can I get, relevant experiences that would help me to get into the fashion industry or help me start my brand? Kind of start from there. And I promise you, 6 months down the line, you will look back and realize, wow, I've actually done all of this. Don't focus too much. Kind of like zoom out, identify all these things, work on them, and just keep focusing on like growth and bettering your skill over time. This has been a very long Q&A. I tried to answer as many questions as possible, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below, because that way we're able to learn from each other, and it also tells the platform that you guys enjoyed this video. So leave any other tips, questions that you might have as well, so we kind of like have a conversation in the comment section. Until my next video, have a good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. Bye.